Everyone, welcome to Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. We have our co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy, and welcome, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And we have the one and only Mr. Welcome to Real Estate vs. Technology, where you'll get the inside scoop from top producing real estate professionals all around the country, best practices, techniques, and learn about what technology they're using to drive to ensure their success in this world we call real estate. Mr. David Azimi, he's here up here as well. And welcome to Real Estate vs. Technology, David.
Hey, Norm, Dan, nice to see you guys. Nice to be on your show. I love it.
Awesome. So to start off the show, we want viewers and listeners to have an idea as who you are and get a little bit of your background. So how long you been in the business? What made you get in the business? And what areas do you serve? What
a great question that is. Well, first of all, I don't discriminate when it comes to areas, right? I serve the whole Bay Area, okay? Right. That's the key. You know, I don't have a certain pocket, but what I do is I basically cherry pick which pocket I want to work, but I keep my my opportunity to go, whether it's Sacramento or Mission San Jose, I take them all, you know, so I don't discriminate. But starting my business, I was always in sales. So I started back in 85. I got in the car business. And from car business, after a couple of years, I moved in finance. From finance director for a 450 automobile store a month, which was Melody Toyota. And then from there, I got promoted to general sales manager, then obviously GM. So 18 to 22 years of my life was in car business until 2003. So I have 3 beautiful kids, been married for 34 years. And when my son was born in 2000, I've decided to take a turn from the car business because I wanted to spend some time. And I heard all these young guys making tons of money in mortgages. So I said, let me try out the mortgage. You know, why not? And let's see. Do you need to do any licensing? Nope. You could work under somebody else's license. I kind of didn't like that, but you know, I looked at a few people, what kind of revenue they were making. I said, wow, I'm working every day, and I'm not even making the money that they're making. Wow. So I made a slow transition to mortgages. So what I did with mortgages, I started with mortgages, and I kind of brought in the car business mentality into mortgages. Build a team and build account executives, and it became very powerful, very beneficial, and it had a great 5-year run until the 2007, the most important year that everybody remembers. Yeah. Mortgage meltdown, home going to foreclosure, stated income stopped. I had over 120 loans in the pipeline, which crashed. Wow. So, and I didn't have my real estate license. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get into real estate. Well, I got into real estate in end of 2007. And I applied for working with J. Rockcliffe Realtors in Pleasanton. So I went from Hop Yard Road right across to J. Rockcliffe. And I stayed there for 7 years. My first year, I did 1 transaction, which was a short sale. Took a long time. But I wanted to learn this. I wanted to learn it the right way. I wanted to see what is a short sale, what is a REO. Second year, I did over 150 short sales. And then the third year, I picked up the short sales plus a REO account, which I never looked back, you know, and it was a success from the get-go. But it was a system in place, right? It took some time to learn it. You can't just jump into something without not knowing it. So I wanted to educate myself before I go sit in front of a client. Just like today, you know, if you don't know the property, you can't go sit there and say, hey, I'm going to sell the house for top dollars. You have to kind of have a system in place and kind of transition to that. And then after that, I had 6 REO accounts, and they were feeding me anywhere between 5 to 10 deals a month. I mean, you do the math; it's very beneficial. And I start selling these REO properties and double ending it. You know, that's where the double end came in, right? You list the property. The buyers call you, you represent the buyers. In the state of California, that is not illegal. And that's when I realized that you're being a seller's agent. I'm always been a listing agent. That's why I don't believe in being a buyer's agent. But I don't like to chase buyers. I want buyers to come to me and ask me questions so I could capture them and sell them a property versus me showing them 20 homes and then the buyers are not very loyal, so they'll go to somebody else, right? So. Yeah. I've never represented a buyer just because. Always a listing, and I represented my listing, did the right thing for my seller, and the buyers listened to me and bought the properties. So that's how I got in the car business. I mean, in the real estate business.
Wow. And so who are you with now?
I'm currently with Intero Real Estate. I started I should have said this. In 2007 all the way to 2013, I was with Rockcliffe. And I stayed there very strongly. I really loved the system. And then I was recruited by Intero in Pleasanton. So they said, hey, you want to come and talk to Rishi Bakshi? And I went there just to test it out. I didn't go there to really make a change. I went there just for the hell of it. So I'm going to go talk to this guy and we'll see what happens. I went in and I really hit off with him. I mean, it was the first time that I felt that this guy is genuine and I could really grow with the company. So my goal was to be a manager. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm an agent right now. I want to come and manage an office for you. And what I liked what he told me, he goes, hey, I don't have any management position right now, but if you want to transition with me right now, down the line opportunity comes up and I'm going to give you that chance. And sure, after 5 years, the opportunity in Milpitas opened up and he said, hey, I want you to be our manager, VP in the Milpitas office. I accepted. It's been a year now, almost going on second year. I had one agent and currently I have about 25 agents. And the goal is to get it to 50 productive agents. And that's where I'm at right now with Intero.
Wow.
Great story.
Yeah, that's a good story.
That's awesome. And then you've been killing it lately. I think I looked at your listing volume right now. You had like over 10 listings, maybe even 20. I don't even know what it is. But what was your production last year? What are you on goal for this year?
Well, my goal this year is 60 transactions closed. That's combined buyers and listing sellers. But obviously, you have 50 listings. I'm going to double in half of it. So there's your 75, right? But I'm being very conservative of saying I'm going to do 60. Last year, I did a little bit over 51 transactions. And that's managing the office and focusing on my daily activities. And definitely, this is where I have to say that I can't do it by myself. So I have a solid team behind me. And I met Norman about just when I got into Intero, I ran into Norman and Smith, and they were just starting this business. Yeah. And I met him and I really liked him, but he was just a newbie, and I didn't want to commit at that time. But he scored very well with me, so I kept him in the back of my mind. And within a year, then I called him back. I said, hey, Norm, come on down, let's sit down and talk. And I've been with him for quite some time. That's where I met you. And obviously, successful agents, you have to spend money and kind of team up with the right people to get you there. Because I don't have the time to upload my stuff on Facebook and put this ad there, get your website dialed in. You have to have solid people behind you to be able to do that. And I highly recommend Norm and his team and yourself for Liftoff Agent. I know we did a quick name change. And prior to that, it was I forgot the name already. See, Liftoff Agent's done so well, I forgot the old name.
Support RE was the old one, but no worries.
Support RE. Yeah, I love Support RE actually.
And then in terms of technology, you want to give us a little splash into some tools that you're using in your business currently?
Absolutely. One thing with me is I like to share. I don't like to hide. Our Intero, we have Sky Slope that we use for our files. I use Reach 150. Reach 150 is another targeted thing to where if you pay $99 a month, which I pay that extra $99 a month. So if I put in emails, and I got currently right now about 750 emails there. So any client that goes in shopping, let's say for Amazon, right? Or they go to Home Depot, my ad will pop on the bottom saying that, hey, David Azimi, here's a review. So every time my client gives me a review, they will see that review popped. And the moment they click on that, it takes them right to my website. That's where the Liftoff Agent comes in, right? They get to see what I have on my website. So I use Reach 150. I use Real Scout. Real Scout is another a nice tool that I use. I put in buyers in there and I put in sellers in there. So every time a property comes in, let's say, Dan, you want to buy a property in Union City, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you want to spend about $1 million. So what I do is I put in there, Dan, email, wants a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. I put in a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath. I put a price point of 700 to $1 million. So now you get to see properties within 700 to $1 million.
Yeah.
And the moment you click on it, I get alert. Hey, Dan looked at this property. I log in, send them an email. Hey, buddy, how are you? I noticed that you looked at this property. Do you want to see it? The key is, you have to have time to do that. You can, if a lead comes in, you don't jump on it, and you just wasted your time, wasted your money.
Yep.
But to me, being responsive is very important, and having the mindset that you have to check all your emails, and don't be a silent agent. There's a lot of agents out there that they want business to come to them, and today is not the day the year to say, oh, I want business coming to me. You got to go to the business, right? Just like I always tell people, success doesn't come to you. You got to go to success to become successful, right?
Yep.
And that's the mindset.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the harder you work, the luckier you get. That
is true. The rewards are very strong. You gotta team up. You gotta do the right thing for your team, for your clients, for the people that works with you. Right? You can't just not do the right thing. And I'm a firm believer of positive attitude, clear focus, and don't allow anybody to come towards changing your mindset, because there's so much negative out there. Because if I listened to being negative people, I wouldn't be here today talking to you.
Nope. So true. And I love how you have that range, so that way you have the flexibility of them looking at additional properties. Then boom, they get that alert to you, and then you can automatically get them a call. Okay, I see this property might not be exactly what you're looking for, but let's go take a look at it. And who knows?
Correct.
Instead of waiting longer for maybe that specific one in that $1 million price point. So awesome. So now we have your backstory. We know where you're at now. It sounds like you had a little bit of a transition going through getting in the office, getting your bearings going. Now the team's growing at Intero. You have 25 agents. You want to do 60 plus transactions this year. What's your 5-year goal?
My 5-year goal is that I want to retire.
Okay.
And when I say retire, I just want to enjoy, right? Because as you work harder, you want to have the benefits down the line. And my goal is to travel with my family, travel with my wife. Obviously, kids are getting older. I should say adult kids. But my goal is to retire in 5 years, and I don't want to work hard anymore. I just want to have fun. I want to be able to go and do what I want to do, and be able to do it. I got one more kid that's left for 2 years. My son, civil engineering, there's 2 years left. He's going to UC Santa Clara, and I want to get that taken care of and get it out of the way. And then after that is just home run.
I like it. I love it. That's a good goal. So we're getting closer to the end of the show, and at this part, we like to ask a couple last questions. I know Dan has one, and I have a couple more, and then we'll wrap things up. So go ahead, Dan.
Absolutely.
Yep. My favorite question I always ask everyone is, say an agent that just got licensed walked into your brokerage. What would be your golden nugget of advice on the very first day they started in the real estate industry?
Well, my golden advice would be consistent. Learn. The key is that for a new agent, you can expect to come in and be a rock star, but you could definitely come in and learn the system, learn what the tools are out there, right? There's so many classes. And you got to identify yourself from the get-go. Are you a listing agent or are you a buyer's agent? And you have to understand what the difference of those two are. Both of them real estate agent, but one extremely have to drive around, put miles on his car, and hope to get somebody accepted on a contract. Or you could be a listing agent and go after sellers, capture that, become good at it, and then you could have buyers come to you. So the most important thing is knowledge and consistency for new agents.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
That's so true. So leading into that, is there any books, podcasts? Like, what do you recommend for a new agent? Maybe a book to read or a podcast or something like that?
I just finished reading the 5 Dysfunctional it's a 5 Dysfunctional item book that came out, which I'll send you the picture so you can see it. It tells you how a team, that a lady that takes over a company that's not doing well, and he has all these talented people there, but they don't actually communicate, right? And it kind of tells them after a certain meeting that she sets up offsite, what happens to the team. And that's the key, is that you have to read and understand this market. And you got to be consistent. Now, I'm a firm believer, being consistent, understanding the market. Don't say something you don't know, right? If a client comes into you right now and asks me this question, how is the market? Now, a lot of agents respond this way: market's great. What's so good about it? Tell me what's so good about it. Instead of answering it that way, if somebody asks me, how's the market, David? Well, market's doing great, but let me tell you why. The rates are low. Buyers are being able to buy properties. It's lower inventory, so sellers are getting multiple offer. So it's a win-win situation. Buyers get into their property, the rates are lower, so they could buy more. So that's a better answer than just saying market is fantastic.
Yeah.
You ask 10 agents and they all tell you this. Out of 8 of them will tell you market is fantastic. And if you ask them, what makes it so fantastic? And they can't answer that.
It's the macro and microeconomics to why it's so fantastic that everyone needs to understand.
Yeah, so true. That's awesome. So we're at the part of the show now where we want to let the floor be yours. So is there a project, something that you're working on, a listing that's coming on the market, whatever it is that you want our listeners and viewers to hear from you, the floor is yours, David.
Hey, thank you, buddy. First of all, I want to talk about this COVID-19, right? March 15, a lot of people, COVID-19 came out, shelter in place took in place, and everybody stopped. Is this going to be a mortgage meltdown? Well, I want to make sure that people know this is not a mortgage crisis or a real estate crisis. That's something to do globally, right? But once again, COVID-19 has actually increased our pending sales, and people are buying. So in the last, I would say 45 days, I've actually got 13 deals pending. And you guys know that because you guys are posting it for me. And I've got listing on Zoom calls. I do Zoom meetings and I talk to sellers. You get some, you don't get some. But the more technology you learn now, the better it's going to be for you on your long run. Other thing is I have a listing coming up in Morgan Hill, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, priced right under $700,000. It should sell for about $890,000. I got a one coming up in Menlo Park. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Believe it or not, sign went up there last week. I'm going there tomorrow to do the final cleaning. I already got a cash offer in my email today for $2.2 million.
Wow.
And I'm listing it for $1,899,000. So,
wow.
2.2, no contingency, 30-day close, and I got proof of funds and everything. I got another one coming up in San Ramon. I did a video shoot on it yesterday. It's off of Montevideo Lane, 3038 Montevideo Lane. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, completely updated. What makes this property so unique, that it has a 1-bedroom, a full bath downstairs. Especially if you have parents living with you and they don't want them to go up the stairs, this is ideal property. So if you need any information, you can reach me at David Azimi Group, or you can send me a quick text at 510-386-4844, and we'll go from there.
Wow. I love it. I love it. COVID-19, I love your approach on that. And to bring some context too, I mean, we listed our house during this time, and
you sold it.
Yeah, 46,000 over asking. We're pending.
Like 4 days.
Literally 4 or 5 days in the market. And what was it? It was February. 2 doors down, they sold theirs for $499, and we sold ours for $540,000.
Well, your house looked beautiful, man.
During the actual pandemic. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Pandemic is just what you want to hear. You could take the COVID-19 and make it a monster, or you could take the COVID-19 and get yourself better and adapt to this market, because this is going to be with you for the rest of 2021, 2022. You're going to have Zoom meetings. You're going to have people that don't want to shake your hand. You're going to have people that's going to wear a mask. This is something that you have to adapt to and respect. And actually, I kind of like it. I don't like to shake hands, you know? It kind of makes it easier. Fist bump, right? The only thing is, sometimes you hug people, right? Now the hug is out of the thing, which is a good thing. You don't need to hug people, right? But you still need to understand this market. And it could go back to normal again. But this technology that we learned this time around is unteachable, because this is self-taught.
Yep.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, David, for being our special guest today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you, Dan, for being our co-host, and thank you
Great
for our
to meet you,
listeners.
David.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you're awesome. I can't wait for more good things to come our way.
Yeah, definitely. So for our viewers or listeners, hope you took something from today's podcast episode that you can apply to your life, have more success, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found value and took something you can apply to your business today. Be sure to join our community on Facebook, Real Estate vs. Technology, all spelled out. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would appreciate it. It's Real Estate Tech. And of course, if you or someone else you know would like to be a part of our show, just go ahead and send us an email. It's reversetechtalk@gmail.com, and we'll see you next week.